What happened today is a horrible, horrible thing.
This was an anti-Semitic act. You wouldn't think this would be possible in this day and age.
Look, if they had protection inside, the results would have been far better.
We have to bring back the death penalty. They have to pay the ultimate price.
What happened in Pittsburgh today was not just criminal. It was evil. An attack on innocent Americans and an assault on our freedom of religion. There is no place in America for violence or anti-Semitism.
This was a pure act of evil. You've heard that from the president and vice president yesterday. That's what it is. We all condemn this in the strongest terms possible.
I am concerned that this hateful, deranged act by a man acting on his anti-Semitic hatred is just the latest in a series of violent incidents this past week that shows that our national political culture is motivating folks who are inspired by hate, by fear, by bigotry, to take up and act on their deranged ideas. And one of the things that really concerns me, that weighs on my heart, John, is the ways in which our president and a number of other national political leaders of both parties have used their megaphones in order to inspire and instill and energize folks based on division rather than based on unity.
Honestly, I think this president's whole modus operandi is to divide us. He gets up in the morning with new and inventive ways to divide us, and it's not enough that on the day of a tragedy he says the right words. If every other day of the year he's saying things to bring us into conflict with each other.
We live now in a very, very toxic environment that includes an incivility in our political discourse among our leaders. This particular president has a particularly large voice and a large microphone, and Americans should demand that their leaders insist on change, a more civil discourse, and a more civil environment generally.
I don't see where President Trump is somehow to blame for this. Now, President Trump in his rhetoric is very direct, but I don't see how you connect President Trump to a person who's deranged going into a synagogue. He's been very clear about anti-Semitism, as well as all of us have been. That is a sick, vile thing.
I don't think that the answer to this problem is solved by having our synagogues, mosques, and churches filled with armed guards, or our schools filled with armed guards. I think we're dealing with an irrational person who acted irrationally, and trying to create laws around that is not the way that we should govern. We should try to stop irrational behavior from happening at the forefront and not try to create laws around irrational behavior to continue.